Hey guys, in this week's video we are going to learn how to get rid of those dark circles under the eyes. We're going to learn all about the science of dark circles, we're going to learn about the causes, and we're going to learn all about dark circles under the eyes, home remedies, and lots more. So welcome to my channel. If you haven't been here before, we talk about everything medical and healthcare related here on the channel, and most importantly, all of the information that we give here on the channel is always evidence-based, so you know you can trust all of the information that we give. Also, please remember this entire video is going to be chaptered in the description below, so if at any point you want to find any specific piece of information, feel free to click on that description and click on the relevant chapter. However, as I always say, make sure you watch the entire video because it's going to make you a bit of a pro on the topic. Lastly, if you find anything new or you've learned something new in this video, please don't forget to click that like button because it's going to help me and it's going to help the video grow. So now, let's begin. Okay, so first of all, let's go into a bit of science. Why do we get dark circles? Probably one of the most common questions I get asked. So, with dark circles, you need to remember a few things. The skin under the eyes is very thin. It's one of the thinnest parts of the skin on the body. This means that this skin doesn't contain many oil secreting glands, firstly, and secondly, it doesn't contain much collagen. So what does this mean? Well, first of all, it means that the skin is going to be very prone to getting dehydrated quickly because it's so thin, and also because it doesn't have much oil producing glands. And secondly, it's going to be far more prone to aging because we have far less collagen there. So because of these two factors mainly, the skin under the eyes is very sensitive to many different changes, and we're going to go through all of these in this video. Now, you also have to remember with the skin under the eyes, it's also highly vasculated, and vasculated means that it's got a lot of blood supply there. And what does blood mean? Blood means that it's going to change the color of the area. So if you have a lot of vascular supply there, so a lot of blood supply there, and the light is going to reflect from it and it's going to give it that darker appearance. This is quite normal. Also, please remember, anatomically speaking as well, this is a sunken area. When the area is sunken, we are going to get more shadowing, which is going to make it appear darker as well. So these are some of the reasons why we get those dark circles. Now, unfortunately, there are a few things that are out of our control when it comes to dark circles. So for example, we've got aging, we've got ethnicity, we've got genetics, health conditions, you know, if you're prone to getting sinus infections, if you have diabetes, if you have allergies. All of these are out of our control when it comes to dark circles. Now, studies have also shown that as you get older, the distribution and volume of fat in your face changes, which along with the loss of bone density leads to facial hollowing such as sunken eyes. And it's also believed that dark circles are more visible in those of non-white descent due to differences in melanin production. Now, the good news is there are a couple of things that we can do that have scientifically been shown to help improve the appearance of dark circles, which is exactly what I'm going to go through with you in this video. Please remember, there's going to be no magical solutions or potions or trickery or anything like that in this video that's potentially going to get rid of your dark circles, but I am going to go through everything that I know that evidence supports and the science behind it supporting it to help with dark circles. So please do remember that. Let's begin. Now, the first thing I want to say before we start to go into home remedies and things that we can do to help with dark circles is there are lots of creams and lotions out there that advertise themselves that they're going to help with dark circles and get rid of them. Please do remember that there is very, very little evidence supporting these creams. I have had a long look at the evidence on these creams, and there's very little data supporting them in them actually improving the appearance. So a lot of them are going to be a waste of money. Okay, so please do bear that in mind. Don't fall for the misinformation and advertisements out there because a lot of it really isn't going to help with the appearance of dark circles. Okay, I keep saying we're going to begin, but now we are actually going to begin. Okay, so let's begin with remedy number one. The first thing I want to talk to you all about is good sleep hygiene. And I know it sounds a little basic, but I'm going to ask you two questions now. First of all, are you getting enough sleep? So are you getting at least 8 hours of sleep per night? And secondly, are you having a regular sleep cycle? Do you have a regular sleep pattern? So for example, that you sleep at 10 p.m. and let's say you wake up at 6:30, 7 p.m, okay? Do you have a regular sleep pattern? Because if you don't, these can definitely make dark circles much worse. So in order to reduce the appearance of dark circles, you should try and get about 8 hours of sleep every night. But bear in mind, some of us need less and some of us need more. And you should try and keep to a regular routine where you can. So waking up at the same time each day and try to go to sleep at the same time each day. Also, please remember that oversleeping can also have an effect on dark circles too. So please don't think to yourself that you're going to catch up on sleep. You need to be maintaining that routine. Now, if you're the type of person who feels like you get puffy eyes, especially when you sleep, this could be due to the drainage that happens when you're sleeping. So a top tip of mine is, if you do find yourself being one of these people that has really puffy eyes in the morning, try adding an extra pillow or getting a thicker pillow so it raises your head a bit more. By raising it, we're not going to have that gravitational force that causes the drainage towards the eyes, okay? By raising it a little, it's going to help it drain down and we're not going to get that puffiness. So please bear that in mind. If that does apply to you, you can give it a go, see how you get on with it. Okay, so moving on to tip number 2. Tip number 2 is all about using a cold compress. Cold compresses can be really effective at helping to reduce the appearance of dark circles. What they do is they restrict the blood flow to the bottom of the eyes, to the skin there, which can help with any inflammation, any swelling, and also just the appearance of dark circles, reducing that appearance of them. So they can be really helpful. So it is one option that you could give it a go. It's fairly easy to do. You can buy them from the chemist, you can buy them from online, wherever really. Usually you keep them in the fridge, and you can usually use them. Now, there's no real evidence in terms of how often to use them, but some people find them helpful to use twice a day, once a day, so see what works best for yourself really. Now, obviously here on the channel, I also like to make things easy for you guys, so if you can't go and get yourself a cold compress bag or anything like that, another option, which there is some evidence for as well, is green tea. So green tea, the stuff that we drink, use the bag, the tea bag, let it cool, pop it in the fridge maybe so it's nice and cold, and you can place that on the eye. Obviously make sure your eyes closed and none of the tea goes into your eyes. But it has been shown again to have that cold compress effect, so it's going to help with the dark circles. But also green tea contains things like caffeine and antioxidants, which again have been shown to help improve the circulation around the eye, and again reduce the swelling and any inflammation there that's going to cause the dark circle. So green tea is a really good option as well, especially if you drink green tea. I guess it's a great way to recycle those bags as well. Pop it in the fridge, give it a go and see how you get on. I'd also love, if any of you have tried it or if any of you give it a go, please do leave a comment below, because I'd love to read more about your experience, and I'm sure everyone else would too. And if you've ever seen in the films or on TV when people sit with cucumber slices on their eyes, well, there is a bit of science to that. So while you can use cold cucumber slices as an option, cold tea bags like we just spoke about, or cold flannels, or any cold compress, they will all do. So I really hope this helps. Okay, so moving on to remedy number 3, which is all about staying hydrated and avoiding triggers. We know, and studies have shown, that excess alcohol and excess caffeine can actually make dark circles worse. Also, excess sun exposure can also make dark circles worse. So bear that in mind, let's talk about it more. Okay, so let's begin with the alcohol. So first of all, alcohol is not only going to dehydrate you and make the actual appearance of dark circles worse by causing more of a sunken effect, but it is also going to expand and open the blood vessels. So we're going to have loads more blood flow in there, which again is going to make the dark circles appear much worse. So if you do drink alcohol, have a real think about how much alcohol you're drinking. Obviously here in the UK, the recommended amount per week is 14 units per week for men and women, with alcohol-free days. That's the most important thing. You shouldn't be drinking alcohol every single day. You should be having, 2 to 3 alcohol-free days just for the body to recover. Now, if you can go less than that, even better. It is going to help with the appearance of dark circles. And if you want some more tips on how to reduce your alcohol intake, I do have a video on it, which I will leave up here and in the description below. Now, as much as you may love coffee, which I love it too, by the way, you really need to think to yourself, how much coffee are you drinking, okay? Really think about it. If you're having too much coffee, you need to cut down on it, because coffee is going to dehydrate you, which is going to make the dark circle appear worse. But also remember that coffee affects our sleep cycle, so we're not going to be getting that good sleep cycle, which is going to make us feel rested, and it's going to help with those dark circles. And studies have shown that getting the right amount of sleep, having a good sleep cycle, does help with the dark circles, okay? So please think about the coffee, think about how much you're having, and see if you can actually cut down on it, and it should help with the appearance of dark circles as well. And lastly on this topic, let's talk about that sun exposure. So sunlight is really important for our mental health as well as being needed for vitamin D production in our bodies. However, too much sunlight can also be bad for us, especially for our skin, as not only does it increase melanin production under our eyes, leading to more pigments there, but it also increases your risk of skin cancer. So in order to reduce your dark circles from sun exposure, you really need to wear sunglasses, especially on sunny days. It's going to help protect that area. It's going to cause that barrier protection, which is really important. You also need to try and avoid direct sun. Try and stay in the shade as much as you can. And lastly, don't forget, you really need a good sunscreen with both UVA and UVB protection. Sunscreen is so important at preventing that aging of the skin. One of the things that I said at the start, that we really couldn't, change much, but we can slow it down as well with good sunscreen. And sunscreen is massively important to reduce the aging and reduce the problem, as in the aging that causes the dark circles. So I can't stress the importance of sunscreen enough for you guys. If you want more information on buying the best sunscreen, what to look out for, what ingredients to look out for, I do have quite a comprehensive video on it, which I will leave a link to up here and in the description below for you. And moving on to tip number 4, which is all about using a good concealer. Look, if you've got dark circles and they're really affecting you, and the things that we've tried aren't making much of a difference, then a good concealer can be a really great quick fix just to help with the appearance of dark circles. Now, whilst we're on this note, please also remember that dark circles are completely normal. A lot of us have them. It's not a sign of bad health. Well, it's not usually a sign of bad health, okay? It's very normal for us to have dark circles, and just embrace and love the skin that we have, okay? That's the most important thing. Now, obviously, this video is for information purposes, and I really do hope that it helps you, but please also remember that it's very, very normal to have dark circles. Now, as I mentioned, dark circles can be caused by a variety of different things. However, please remember that if you are not having good sleep, if you're struggling to sleep, having real problems with it, or if you're oversleeping constantly, okay, all of these can be causes for the dark circles as well. If this is happening to you, please remember to speak to a healthcare professional. Don't just leave it. There might be underlying causes that are actually causing it. So you actually need to speak to a healthcare professional so you can take a history, do an examination, do a blood test, do everything they need to do to find out that everything is actually okay. Now, also, dark circles and sunken eyes can also be a sign of dehydration. So please remember, if you're constantly having dry lips, if you're feeling dizzy, if you're feeling really tired, all of these can be signs of dehydration, which again is important to speak to your healthcare professional about. So that's it for this week's video on how to get rid of those dark circles. I really hope that you found this information helpful. Like I said at the start of the video, I wasn't going to go through some magical potions and things to make that you can apply on the eye that's going to get rid of it, because there's no evidence supporting these things, and they're really, quite frankly, a waste of time. All of the stuff that I've mentioned to you in this video is all evidence supported that actually show that if you do them right, they are going to help with the appearance of dark circles. So I really do hope that you find this information helpful. You're now a bit of a dark circles pro, so tell your friends, tell your family, tell your loved ones, tell everyone, because you now know all about dark circles and what causes them and what treatments to do and what you actually need to do to help with the appearance of them. Also, if you have any of your own tips, I would love to read them, so please leave a comment below. I'd love to read that. I'm sure everyone watching this video would love to read it too. As I always say at the end of every single video, always remember that you're awesome, and I will see you next week. Hey guys, thanks for watching this week's video. Make sure to click that like, follow or subscribe button now to stay up to date with new weekly videos.